Hello, and welcome back to Butch That Model. With a bit of a disaster-like way. Sorry about last week. I really couldn't face it last week. I was in a bit too much discomfort after the accident, but I'm all right now. I'm all right. Things are on the mend. Obviously peeling, because my nose feels like Ken Doug's up there with two tickling sticks going like that. It's very itchy. But it's not so bad. You know, it is what it is. I'll be all right. So, what are we going to do? Well, a couple of things still haven't turned up. One of the things was I ordered the Seafoam for treats and things. That still hasn't turned up, bizarrely. And the other thing I ordered is a set of paints. Set one of the new Army Painter colour shifting paints. But that still hasn't turned up because that's obviously coming from Green Stuff World in Spain. So, what can we do? I'll be working on figures, zombie side for my good friend next door, and I'm just going to carry on doing a bit of that. We'll discuss what to do with miniatures that aren't like Games Workshop standard. The thing with Games Workshop is, yes, you're paying for them. You pay the price. You don't pay. It's a very strange system. It's not done on the price of the plastic. It's done on the cost of the model on the table, as in the points for the battle. It's very strange. It's not. If you approach it from a tabletop gamer's point of view, it makes perfect sense. If you approach it from a model maker's point of view, it makes no sense whatsoever. But it is what it is. So, and the standard of GW's miniatures are fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Whereas other companies, smaller backstreet companies, sometimes the molds let them down, And this is the case with the earlier version of Zombicide. Some of the figures look like they came from a 1970 serial packet. The definition and the detail isn't fantastic. So that sort of limits what you can do to them, because you haven't got the depth, you haven't got the base details. So you have to resort to, paint won't work. Really will not work. You have to resort to inks. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at how to use inks. We'll have a little chat later on about basing. How do you base your army? And not only just how you go about it, but there's actually more to think about than you realise. So we'll discuss that later, hopefully. So obviously, who's in? Who we got in at the moment? We have. I seem to be very laggy. I don't know if it's me. No, Sarah Jane's in. So hi, Sarah Jane. First one in. Nice to see you again, love. And Scott, my good mate Scott, up at Orkney. He's in. And model officer. Oh, James. Jacqueline Stevens just in as well. Hello, Jacqueline. So there's not many of you in, but people at work. John's in. Hello, John. Nice to see you nipping, mate. Lovely to see people nipping in. Even though a lot of people have gone back to work, I haven't stopped work. But Thursday's always been my day off. I either Wednesday, Thursday, and then the following week I have Thursday, Sunday. I just work a shift rotation like that. So Thursdays I'm always free. So that's why I thought I'll just carry on. I'll carry on. But is anybody else? Am I coming across very laggy to anybody else, or is it just me on my other monitor? I'm watching it on YouTube. I've got it. I like to use the chat on YouTube. It seems to be a lot faster than the chat on streaming. Jackie and Kev's in as well. So nice to see you both. Hope you're all keeping well. James, did you do FaceTimes the other day? I was going to do that. I think you was doing it. I was going to do it Thursday. You were going to do it the weekend. Do you actually do it, mate? I don't know. I've got something to do, but yeah, I'm lagging a bit. Sorry about that. It seems to be my internet. My son next door is gaming as well, and Scott knows what that means. He may get very ragey in a bit. That might cut us a bit short. Anyway, let's have a look at what we're going to do. Let's have a look. Now this is a Games Workshop figure. So the detail, absolutely crisp. It's fantastic. You can do pretty much anything you like to it, painting wise. This is a Zombicide figure. It's smaller, and this is one of the later ones, so this one's quite nicely detailed. You can't really paint, you have to resort to inks on large areas. So we'll have a look at how we ink things. It's the same, it's exactly the same as painting. You can't use a wet palette. I have a wet palette because I've been doing skin tone as well. So basically you want to use a dry palette. And yes, sorry James, yeah I did. I asked if you did painting the other day. I have one. I have one to do. There's not a lot of point going over it if you've done it the other day, mate. Right, I'm just going to, do you know what? I'm just going to pause this a second. Pause this. How do you pause this a second? And just give me a sec. I'll be back in a second. Right, sorry about that, I'm back. Right, whoa. Swig of tea. A swig of tea. Right. So the detail on Games Workshop is fantastic. I said some of the other companies, maybe not. So we're going to resort to inks. Right, so dry palette, selection of inks. And you basically, especially with things like Zombicide, you choose whatever you want, colour-wise. So we'll look at this fella. We'll give him contrast paints work very well as well. What colour should we do his trousers? A nice browny colour. Let's give him some brown trousers. Put a bit on a dry palette, and it's contrast paint using the same way you would inks. Don't try and put contrast paint in a wet palette. It just does not work. Let me clip that on, a bit more light on here. There we go. Ooh, I was blind and now I can see. So we'll just get it in there. Unlike paint, if you're using contrast or inks, you have to try and be a bit neater. The way I always paint a figure is, say a Space Marine, I will paint the largest colour first. So in my case, Ultramarines, it's the blue. And it doesn't matter if you go over a detail that's not blue, because your next stage you build on top of that and you neaten up as you go with your colours. With inks and contrast paint you can't really do that, so you've got to be a lot neater. And the other thing with contrast and inks, you need to do it up a white undercoat. Inks and paint are totally different things. You're not, with a paint, you're actually putting a layer of paint on it. With an ink or a wash, you're actually staining, as if you would do with a wood stain on your garden fence. They're totally different beasts. They're not the same at all. Let's just get a bit of I'll put them to one side a little bit. Give it a couple of minutes to dry. Choose another figure. If you're doing what's happening now? Let's look at the chat. I'm lagging a bit. I don't know what's going on. It's very strange. John Paul almost closed his channel last week. People are getting, they won't get in the group build. I don't know what's going on there. James saying good to see you on the men. Thanks, James. Wasn't a fun week last week. Right, so we're going to figure while that one's drying. If you're batch painting, if you're doing like an army, don't just paint one figure. Undercut 5 or 6, and then do one part, let it dry. You know, move on to another one while that's drying. That's the way I tend to do it. It just seems a lot easier. Right, so ink on this bloke. Now you can't really, I mean, you could do. There's no point in thinning inks. It's thin enough as it is for bushwork. One thing I have never done, I will have to give it a try one day, is putting inks through my airbrush. Never done it. Never had the need to do it yet. I'll give that a go one day. James, have you done that, mate? Have you put ink through your airbrush yet? And if you did, how did it go? Get a bit of red down on that. The last thing about inks as well is they'll act a lot like a contrast paint in that they'll settle more in the recesses. Give you a bit of contrast in your recesses than paint will do. I actually find inks a lot easier to work with, bizarrely. The inside of his coat as well. Inside of his spots. A bit of a darker red. It's going to be a bit more shadow. Right, so we'll put him down as I move on to the next. And it's that simple. Inks are that simple. Don't be afraid to try something other than paint. Inks are so much easier to use. Ah, right. Oh no. Ow, oh, ow. Don't sneeze when you've got a sore nose. How's that hurt? Don't do it. Oh, I got me swig of my tea in an appropriate coloured, proper coloured cup. John Paul saying about his channel. At the end of the day, Paul, it doesn't matter, mate. You'll always get haters. You'll always get thumbs down. It used to bother me a lot. You know, at the moment I've got 7 people watching, people at work. It gets archived on YouTube. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, don't worry about anybody else. Just do your thing. Do your thing and just enjoy it. Pass on your knowledge, because that's all we're doing it for. It's this YouTube thing with model making. It's such a niche thing. Nobody's ever going to make PewDiePie's money doing YouTube channels, making models and painting things. At the end of the day, we don't do it for that. We're not doing it for that. We're doing it just to pass on a bit of knowledge, mate. And don't get disheartened with people like that. Just ignore them. That's the way I look at it. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh, I don't know why this is so laggy today. My picture, I don't know about your picture quality. On StreamYard, on this one, it looks quite nice. On the YouTube, it looks awful. It looks grainy and very laggy. Don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, we'll persevere for a little bit. We haven't got a lot to do today, so we probably won't even do an hour. But so inks, are, you know, give them a go. Give them a try. They're very easy. It's like using a wash. All you're doing is you're actually staining the undercoat, basically. So you want to go for a white. You can do a zenithal, but I certainly won't try using inks over black. It just doesn't seem to work that well. You spend so much time building the layers up. It's just far easier to do it over a white or a zenithal. Grey you can do it over, you know, with washes and that. But again, and then for some bizarre reason, I don't know if anybody in chat knows. I've never actually had a look why, but if you're in Canada, for some bizarre reason, you cannot undercut anything with grey in Canada. It's illegal. And I have no idea why. It's very strange. It's a weird one. Right. So I'll put that aside for a bit. Because only the thing is, doing this is so the figures are so small, you're not ever going to see anything that I'm doing. It's a bit of a pointless exercise. So let's talk about basing. Right. You've got standard Citadel boring base. Now, the thing you've got to worry about, or not worry about, the thing you've got to think about is I'm going to build, say, a Warhammer army, or Scott's saying, dear Lord, warn me next time you're going to sneeze. Sorry, Scott. I didn't realise I was going to sneeze, mate. It hurt me more than it hurt you. So, oh yeah, basically, I lost track now. See, I've lost it. I've lost it. It must be the medicine I'm taking. It must be the drugs. So, right, you've got to think about if you're building like a Space Marines or Dryad Army. You know, you got to think about how you're going to base it, because once you base it, your first figure, that's your base. That's what your material you've used is what you're going to have to base your entire army in. Otherwise, it just looks stupid. The amount of people I've seen over the years playing Warhammer, like I have done for years, is they'll turn up on a game night, and this squad of Space Marines look totally different to the base on this squad of Space Marines. It just look, to me, it just looks silly. I mean, you can't say it to people because it's a lot of times it's younger teenagers and things like that, younger kids and that. It's like, you know, it's what they want to do. Let them do what they want to do. Just point them in the right direction with things like this. It's like, choose a style. Like, the easiest one to do is just to cover that in PVA, cover it in sand, fine sand, let it dry, and then paint it. Either paint it a brown or a green or whatever. You know. But do your entire army the same then. Otherwise, it just ends up looking silly. In my eyes, you know, there's hundreds of different things that you can use to base them each with. It doesn't have to be a shop bought flock of things like that. Like I say, it could just be sand, it could just be rocks. There is a Plague Marine. I'm working on his base at the moment, and that was the bird grit, the budgie grit. So all of my Plague Marines, my entire Plague Marine army, has got on it, there's some grass and flock and that, but it's all got the budgie grit, the stonework. It just ties it all together then. You know. So, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's doing Space Marines, like I say, or Age of Sigmar, or even Napoleonic War tabletop, or World War II stuff, like Bolt Action, you know. So, what are we on now? John Paul saying he builds model cars, he watches people do military and figures. You know, at the end of the day, John Paul, there are, I mean, mini art do figures. Peter stand next to cars. I know they do a series of scantily clad young ladies and other such things, but you know. James said that Scott, thank you, we're doing a diamond art then. Oh, that stuff is my wife does a diamond art, and bless her, she lost her grandmother through the Velociraptor a couple of months ago, and so she sent this company a picture of her grand, and they do it as a diamond art, and then so it was quite expensive actually, but she's happy with it. She's happy with it. So she bought two, give to her two aunties. So, but them things are pain. Diamond art things. They're not sticky. It's the picture that you're sticking them on's got the sticky stuff on it. But yet the other week I got out of bed to go to work in the morning, went and had a shower, and for some bizarre reason there's one stuck to my leg. I have no idea how I ended up with a little tiny plastic diamond art thing stuck to my leg. But there you go. John Scott saying the jeweler silversmith. He does. Scott works for a company in Orkney called Ortec. He's got lovely. Sarah Jane Scott's got lovely polished nails. Well, that finger and his thumb mainly. He's polishing jewelry all the time. He's got lovely, it's all buffed and make you jealous. It would look. Ah. Right, so let's have a look. Some other basic materials we can use is obviously standard flock. The slate, you could do one with slate, especially if the character. A lot of programs will have a like a lieutenant or a general, you know, and it's always nice to give him something a little bit extra on his base. The thing with Games Workshop is if you're using it as a tabletop piece, as long as it doesn't overhang the base, stack it as high as you like. As long as the base size doesn't change, it's fine. It's fine. So I don't know what should do or not. Should we just rattle off a couple of? Let's have a look. Where's my? I've got some spare bases. There we go. Let's just rattle off a couple of bases. See just how quick and easy it can be. We'll just do 2 or 3. And then what shall we use? Oh, let's move that away. This is what I was finished. I actually finished something. I want to actually finish something. This is what I was doing the other week, which is the D&D entrance to a dungeon. And that was the plaster box using the tin foil method, silver foil. Come out quite well actually. I'm quite pleased with that. It's just it's not playable, it's just a representation, and it's somewhere for me to put my stuff behind as I'm DMing, which is quite nice. I'll leave it as a screen. Right, so let's have a look. We've got some of our slaty rocks, or little slate pieces. Yeah, some we get a couple of larger bits of that as well. Not huge big ones, but some larger ones. That's all right. Or that tub. Come here, tub. Let's have some coarse sand and some flock. Oh, we'll just use that. We'll just use that one. We'll see if we can turn these flat, boring bases into something a bit nicer. I'll put that there for now. Hot glue gun. Where did I put the hot glue gun? I've actually been efficient and put things away. Blimey. I put things away in drawers really quickly. No, I haven't, obviously. Shall I find that in a second? If not, I shall get a crack off a little one. Oh. Aha. One hot glue gun. Unplug that, plug that in. Let that warm up for a sec. Give my bolt heat. And then move that away. Right, that's better. So let's start off with a nice little rocky base. So if you were doing something like a spaceman sergeant or a lieutenant, something like that, you want to give them a slightly nicer, fancier looking base. This is my slate dinner serving thing, play setting from my local pound shop. Stick it in a couple of plastic bags, wrap it in a towel, big heck out of it with a hammer, and then collect all the bits up and then grade them. And you have basing material that will last you for quite a while. I'll do a couple of bits like that. A bit of that. If you're gonna do it like that. So if you're gonna stick a character on there, is that gonna overhang? Nope. You're gonna stick a unfortunately I haven't got one to hand that's not had a base on him. You see what I mean? You'll get the gist in a second. Put the lid on that. Click, click. Well, do this stick. Grab a glue stick. I can get it on camera because that'll always help. So basically, what the heck was that? Bit of fluff on it. Bit of carpet monster fluff. So stick a bit of that on there. And don't worry about excess and splodging because we're going to do something to that in a bit. Right. Turn it off before we forget it and it gets very hot and start smelling. Something on fire in here. Basically, very, very quickly, we have an old bush. What we can do, we can probably get away with doing all three techniques on this one base. That'll take a look for now, won't it? So, we coated it liberally, a liberal coating of PVA glue. Let's give that a flocking. Stick a bit of flock in there. then give it a swirl. Tap off all the excess. Now we missed a bit there. That happened. And there we have. Basically, you could stand anybody on that, and it would look quite impressive. The tabletop. How simple was that? It took minutes to do, and then leave that to dry. And there's nothing to stop you later on adding a few tufts. Nose off my neighbour, which one mine next door, his eldest daughter's. He's a granddad. He's a granddad now. Why do you want to be a granddad? And little Noah, he's got a good set of lungs on him, bless him. There's a cracking set of lungs. Right, so let's have a look at the simplest one to do. Simplest, easiest, and quickest way of basing a miniature is literally, once your miniature's on, obviously it's going through the motions, pretend there's a figure stood on it. Is literally got it in PVA. Cover it in sand. Leave it to dry and then paint it whatever colour you want. And that's the simplest and easiest way of doing the base. But like I said, once you've chosen, I'm going to do my army as a flocked, I'm going to do it as a sand, a painted sand, stick to it and do your entire army like it. And that way, they'll all look the same, they'll all gel together as a coherent looking unit. And it's that simple. Easy peasy peasy. But then, oh, Lewis is in. I'm making trucker. Lewis. Sarah Jane. You cast with Dave on Tuesday live stream. Fantastic laugh. It was actually, you know what? I have never. It was one of the most fun things that I've ever done. Was the last Tuesday stream with Phil, Prime Time Modelling. It was actually very, very funny. So go check it out if you're not seen Prime Time Modelling, Phil. We did a bit of a quiz thing. It's Phil's idea. It's all Phil's fault. Don't look at me. I'm just the innocent pawn. Phil made me do it. He's a bigger boy. It was funny. It was funny. What, this mug, Lewis? Yeah, his dad's favourite mug. This one. Mike Mountain's favourite mug. Oh. Well then, anybody got any questions? Any questions? Because I was stumped as to what to do today because the things I wanted to do haven't turned up. It was like panic mode. What am I going to do then? What am I going to do? You don't want to see. I don't want to sit here and paint figures because there's 1,001 people doing that. I don't want to sit here and build a model kit. There's 1,001 people doing that. You know. I'm trying to think of something different for what to do. And I was a bit like, oh, what am I going to do then? There's not a lot we can do. But we'll think of something. We'll think of something. Scott has done a lovely. I challenge Scott. Ted, question down my face. It's pretty sore. It's going to get better. Thanks, mate. It's not recommended. Don't face plant the floor at 28 kilometers an hour. It hurts. Ted challenged me to do the Weeping Willow tree, and then me and Ted had a bit of a chat on Messenger, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pass the challenge on, and we'll do a little thing between us where we challenge each other. And so I challenged Scott at the Junk Works because Scott, especially, he's fantastic. Scott's weathering, in my opinion, Scott's weathering is amazing. He is the master of weathering. And it's the same with painting is Kenneth, Painting Bullius. In my book, he's the greatest painter in the world. The guy is amazing. And Scott's the same when it comes to weathering. It's like it's some sort of black magic, dark art. I don't know how they manage to do it, but they do it. They're very good at it. So go check that out. Check out Painting Bullius on Instagram and Scott the Junk Works. Just absolutely amazing work. Shane Young, of all the kits you built, which one did you enjoy the most? That's a hard one, actually, mate. A lot of the Games Workshop stuff, some of the bigger stuff, I've got Nagash, who is the God of Death. He's in the display case at the Games Workshop, so I can't really show you that down at my local Warhammer store. I enjoyed that. Was a fantastic. I enjoyed painting that because it was a real challenge. It was blending. He's got a huge cape, an absolutely huge cape, and it goes from black at the top to a very, very dark green at the bottom, and it was blended all the way down, and it took hours and hours and hours to do it. But for some bizarre reason, I enjoyed doing it, and the outcome was amazing. I was chuffed to bits. I was really pleased with that. So I think Nagash has been probably my favourite so far. Troglodon, which is here, that was another one where I tried inks for the first time and washes, and I really enjoyed painting that. Just the skin on the flesh, on the sail and things. It was enjoyable because it was a challenge. I've never done that before, you know, and I thought, you know, let's have a try. Let's give it a go. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge of it. So I think they're probably my favourite two at the moment. I love the Walmart horse and carriage you built. Oh, that's the that's here. Hang on. It's called the Black Coach. That was fun. That was fun. That's the first time I'd actually tried to do a wood effect. And I think that's what it is as well. If you've got something you've never done before, a technique or a style you've never tried before. To me, I enjoy the challenge of that. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but I love the challenge of doing something I've never tried before, and then the buzz of when it succeeds. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't. I don't always succeed. I have a shelf of shame. Don't get me wrong, I do have a shelf of shame, but when something you try new for the first time and you pull it off, the sense of satisfaction I find great. It's one of the reasons. I think that's one of the reasons why we do this. If we're fair, you know, if we're honest to ourselves. Yeah. Oh, here's another. That was another fun one to do. That was. I don't know. That was just enjoyable. I don't know why. I don't know why it was, but it was just an enjoyable thing to paint and build. You know, but try something different. Get out of your comfort zone once in a while. You never know. You know, you might enjoy it. Don't spend a fortune on something. I mean, they're expensive bits of kit. There's nothing to stop you getting something you've never done before. Shiny cars. I've never done a shiny car before because I've never had an airbrush. And as soon as I got an airbrush, the first thing I did was whack out some shiny cars. And I got a real buzz for it. Scott will tell you, I did nothing but, for months, I did nothing but build shiny cars. I've got a garage downstairs. You know, give it a go. What have you got to lose? Just get yourself, I don't know, a little 1/72, 12 or 13 pound airfix kit of a subject you don't normally do. and have a go at it and do it in a style that you don't normally do. You know, a different painting technique or something like that. Have a crack. You don't know. That's what it's all about. Avid. Oh, hello, Avid. Avid Madars nipped in. Thanks for joining in, mate. Nice to see you. I'm pretty sure Avid's in Israel, I think, isn't it, Avid? I'm pretty sure. Well, we've gone international. Blimey. How do you put a kid's bunk bed and wardrobe in one day? I've just got the slats to go, then the wardrobe, and I'm lagging. It's called being a dad, Lewis. It's called being a dad. It's, you know, it's time you got to man up, face your responsibilities of being a father, and get those beds built. And a power drill helps, or a power screwdriver. That's the secret. Plug your cordless drill in and set it onto screwdriver mode, mate, and get them beds built. You've got to do a wardrobe next. So, the old IKEA wardrobes, mate. My biggest tip for those, actually, is that PVA glue, mate, wood glue. Once you start building my IKEA type wardrobes, he's got the drill. It's just killing my back. See, that's the thing. See, James is that man up, Lewis. I didn't want to say that, James. You said that, mate. But James said man up, Lewis. All right. I'm sure Nat should bring man up here as well if she was here. I don't know what's going on with the audio. I think I've got a bit of a broadband issue because it's very bad even on my end. Avid, sorry about that. Oh, Shane, interesting question. Somebody said to you, Dave, that you could only build in one subject for the rest of your life. What would you go for? I did before I discovered the boom foot. I obviously, apart from Warhammer, because I've done that for years and years and years, was 1350 ships. I had a huge collection of 1350 ships, and then we moved into this house 4 years ago now. And moving day, we had the Pearl Harbor incident where I'd stored all my ships in boxes, loaded them on the removals lorry, and She Who Farts in Bed's tumble dryer slipped on the way here and landed on top of my ships. And there was tears. Let's just say there was tears. My entire fleet of battleships was pretty much destroyed. And there was about 10 years worth of work just gone. And they were, to the extent the weight of the tumble dryer falling on the boxes, it was just a mess. There was nothing worth salvaging. So I've got some more. I have a few ships to build, and a few submarines. I've got two very large 172 sail submarines to do. I've got the U-boat. I'm halfway through. I've started that, and I've got the American Gator class submarine I bought a couple of months ago to do. So it would have to be. I think at the end of the day, Shane, it'd be ships again, mate, because I've got a lot of catching up to do again with ships. But yeah, it'd have to be ships. I don't think it'd be Games Workshop. I've got enough Games Workshop stuff to last me a lifetime, to be honest, mate. I've still got so much left to paint. But I've got let's have a look, my Space Marines, my Ultramarine armies up to about 8,000 points. My army, my Nagash, my Death Army for Age of Sigmar is probably about 8,000 points. Stormcast Eternals, a 4,000 point army. My Self-on army is about 2,000 points. My Plague Marines about 4,000 points. So I've pretty much got enough Warhammer stuff already done, you know, to play the rest of my life. So yeah, ships. What about anybody else? For the same thing, if you could only build one genre or one thing for the rest of your modelling life, what would it be? That's a very good question, Shane. Thank you. I enjoyed that. Lewis is saying, how long will it take you to build a 1350 ship? If I've got all the photo etch and everything else, mate, about 6 or 7 months. Lewis is the same, he only builds ships. There's something about ships, Lewis, isn't there? Just there's something about it. That is a good question. Very good question, Shane. Come on. Put your answer in the chat. What would you do if that's all you could build for the next, 30 years or so? What would you choose? What an absolutely cracking question. I like that. Scott saying, build one subject. You mean I can build other than IDF? I didn't know that was coming, Scott. Scott's got this thing about IDF armor. I think he's got a fascination with what I call it sand and camel poo. There you go. Sarah Jane, Formula One cars. Jacqueline saying to Lewis that Con wanted to make his own bed, show him how to do it. I think Jacqueline, he probably could. He's a clever lad. Connor's not daft. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I'm not a huge armor. I've got, to be honest, I haven't built a lot of tanks. Obviously, Games Workshop stuff. I've got Rhinos and things like that, and Devastators and up on the shelf. Up. Where's me? Up there. That way, yeah, the shelf up there. I've got loads of stuff on there. Spur and Glue's in. Dave is in. Hi, Dave. James is dioramas. No, I love doing scenery and dioramas and things like that. But James, model office, James did, was not last year, James, the Altar to Freedom. He did a diorama of a parachuter in World War II. British paratrooper that had gone to a church steeple and was suspended over the altar. It was amazing. And he got silver for that, did he, James, at Calvert? It was lovely. Go and check out. We'll get James to put some pictures up on his Altar of Freedom. It was a fantastic, absolutely brilliant, beautiful piece of work, and a richly deserved silver medal. 2 years now, blimey. Was that long ago? We're getting old, mate. We're getting old. Oh dear. I was good fun. You've got, the thing we have as well is you've got quite a lot of scope, haven't you, for weathering and sticking on a little diorama. Planes not so much. Gold at Telford. It was gold. What did it got? I think. Oh, sorry, James. It was gold at Telford, and we richly deserved it. It's a beautiful piece of work. Absolutely cracking piece of work. A little bit. It's fantastic. Scott, IDF Mercury 3 coming up on my channel soon. Oh, hang on a minute, Scott. You haven't cheated, have you, with this challenge? But I've got to do something in snow and ice instead of standard camel poo. My anesthetic is it's getting better, mate. It's getting better. Oh. I've been walking around work singing along for Christmas in my 2 front teeth. There you go. I'll have to make an appointment soon. Question, David. Can you sing Happy Birthday to Connor? Is it Connor's birthday? Is it? In what style would you like? Would you like it in bass baritone or just my silly voice? Wasn't a couple of planes, and I realised I really needed an airbrush. Sarah Jane, airbrush is an incredible piece of kit. But please, 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 please don't buy a cheap, nasty eBay knockoff, rip-off, horrible thing. It's Connor's 6th birthday today. So, Connor, happy birthday. And I will attempt. It may sound like a nanny goat having a wee in a treacle tin, but I shall try and sing Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you in a silly voice. Happy birthday, dear Connor. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, mate. Have a good one. There you go. No, sorry, Scott. You don't have time to take your headphones off. Sorry, I'm saying happy birthday, Connor, in the chat. So, what did you get, Connor? What did you get for your birthday? That's my important question for the day. What did Connor get for his birthday? And if it's something that's not fantastic and marvellous, Daddy will be getting stick for the next week. Oh, lots of happy birthdays. Oh, he's at school. He's at school, is he? So back to school. Tommy's not though. Tommy's not back at school until next Friday. And then it's Thomas goes to a special needs school, so it's I suppose having to get lots of different things in place. And hang on a minute. Well, have you read this? Hang on a minute. He got a new bed and wardrobe. Lewis, he's 6. You don't buy a 6-year-old a new bed and a wardrobe and say that's your birthday present. He needs a toy. He needs a cool toy, a bed, and a wardrobe. Unless it's a bed that looks like a Ferrari or the Millennium Falcon or an X-Wing, it's not a birthday present, mate. That's a necessity. David's boo was so Friday teeth, my dog just went off. I told you it sounded like a nanny goat having a whittle in a treacle too. I did my best. I tried. It's a bunk bed. So what you're saying now is you've kicked poor Connor out of his bedroom. So you're putting a bunk bed in so he's got to share a room with your sister so you can have a modeling studio. Is this what you're saying, Lewis? Oh dear. Yes, Sarah Jane, good idea. That will be a treat for Connor to drill the portholes in Lewis's Titanic. What a good idea. Father and son time. The fact that Lewis will be panicking and sweating. Have no fingernails left. Genius, Sarah Jane. I like you. You've got an evil mind. You're a wonderful lady. I love it. What submarine, Scott, Shane, what submarine kit would you recommend for somebody who's never built one? Definitely not the one of the 172nd ones that I got, which is the premium ones with all the photo etch and all that. A 1100 or 1144. It's downstairs. I can't show you. It's downstairs. I did the Airfix do a little tiny 1144 U-boat Type 7C. It's not a lot of parts in it. It's not a big kit, but I did it in resin. That was good fun on the surface. That was good fun. The Yellow Submarine, yeah. Another good one, a fun one, is the Meng Toons do a Type. In fact, I've got it here. Meng do the Type 7C in the World War II style, like chibi thing. That was quite fun. You know, just a little weekend build. That was the Meng chibi Type 7C U-boat. It's fun. It was a bit of fun. But the Airfix, for your first ever submarine, have a little crack at the Airfix one. It's not, it's a starter kit. It's not expensive, and if you do it on a diorama, put it on a picture frame and either use resin or wall fill or something. But the chibi one, the main one, that's good fun. That was good fun. Have a go at that. And that is actually, yeah, it's chunkier than the Airfix one. The Airfix one very thin, but it's quite long. It's very skinny and long. But yeah, that's good fun. The Type 7C. Have a crack at it, mate. Have a go at that. It's fun. Thunderbird 4. Thunderbird 4 is downstairs as well. I think, yes, Thunderbird 4 is downstairs. I'm looking around, I can't see it. Yeah, it's downstairs on the other shelving. But that was the same. That was the Meng. Was it Meng? No, it wasn't Meng. It was Aoshima. Aoshima do the Chibi Thunderbirds kits. They're actually good fun as well. Good fun. Sarah Jane, I did that as a wind-up for Fox. I did. I made a diorama. I was challenged a long time ago by Fox to do something on a 2p piece. And I actually built a motorbike and sidecar in 1/72 scale and built this little tiny diorama on a 2p, and it all just about fitted on it. And then I did the submarine, which was just literally a piece of sprue that I cut at an angle, and it was just periscope coming out of the water, a bit of foxy red up the 2p. That was quite a funny one to do. Oh dear. The silly things that you wouldn't believe, the silly things that the mods have got up to over the years, and challenges and stupid things we've done for each other. James got to go. So take care, mate. And don't forget, James will be on Saturday night on the crash, and then the Model Officers Mess on Sunday morning. What time is that, James? What time? I think is it 10 o'clock he's on Sunday morning? Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. I'll do the model making times. We'll just have a quick blast through the model making times as it's nearly hours up. 11. There you go, Lewis. Thanks, Lewis. Yes, so model making times. Don't forget, check out Models for Heroes. They have a calendar. There's a link in my previous videos as to, you can go and check on that. I class that as like national YouTube tip, and this is local. So I would check out that Models for Heroes. And please, like I always say, drop something in the post. Don't have to be a model kit, like I said, just a couple of this stuff lying about that we've never used. Or I've got tubes and tubes of this. I've got 4 on my table now that I've never used them. I might just stick them in a box and post them in Newbury. The address is underneath my previous videos on their website. Just drop something in a box and post it to them. It all helps. Everything helps. Right. So anyway, what we got? So tonight, Thursday evening, is Chris at 8 o'clock, as always. And then tomorrow, Friday, Fox. Things fall out. Fox does a weird fallout thing on a Friday. And then at 8 o'clock on Friday evening is Natalie with a next to us crafter. And then Saturday is Fox at 3 o'clock with Skyrim Saturday. And then the crash with James and Carl and Lewis and Steve and Chris. Not Chris, Gross Models Chris. Chris in America. Looks like Grizzly Adams, big beard. Laughs a lot, that Chris. Sunday morning, 11 o'clock, like we said, is James. But before that, on Models for Heroes, do a show as well on Sunday morning before James does his 11 o'clock show. So, and then after that, it's 12:30 till 2:30. It's Cousin and Dave with the brunch, which I still say is the funniest show to watch on YouTube. There's always a laugh. There's always giggles. And then what we got after that is Fox at 3 o'clock with his normal Warhammers. Dad might not be on today. On Sunday. He's got family things on. So, and then at 8 o'clock it's Chris or Ted. Chris and Ted. Shane Young, I love the tune he's on Facebook for Ed O'Connor, will you? Our daughter to play that sax solo for me on the clarinet. Fantastic. Hey, anytime. Anytime. It's one of my favourite songs. I went to see Sinead O'Connor when I was a lot younger in concert. Very good. Loved it. Right, anyway, so Chris and Ted, 8 o'clock on Sunday. Chris and or Ted. Maybe both of them together. Or might just be Chris. Monday at 3 o'clock. Lewis, are you Lancastering? Probably is. He probably is. And then at 6:30, it's 5760 Grand modelling 6:30, and then e-models at 9 o'clock on Monday, and then on Tuesday it's Phil Prime at 8 o'clock, and some idiots will join in, probably me and Dad probably. We'll do something daft like that. We'll go in, we'll give Phil a hand because Tony's still in the grips of builders. So that was it. So that's what's on. That's a submarine. That's how to do a miniature base. If you're struggling with painting a figure because the detail's not fantastic, try ink instead of paint. It's a lot better. I mean, that was a terrible figure detail wise, but he's come out pretty decent now, and that's all through the power ink. And thank you for the questions. Yeah, Lewis might have to change. We need to look at changing times, so that's when the kids come home from school. Good point. Good point, Lewis. Make it a 4 o'clock show. I don't think anybody will moan. And it'll give them a chance to go and pick their kids up from school and get on to watch it. Can you show us again? Show you what again? What have we got? Blue, Dave saying, can you show us again? I don't know what. The submarine. There's a figure. There's a 30-second base. I don't know what Dave wanted to be sure again, but that's it. There you go. Anyway, thanks for all. Thank you everybody for coming in. And it's just an hour, just a little nat and a laugh and a joke. And you might have learned something. I don't know. I hope you did. I didn't. Did I learn anything? Never touched a dog with average eyebrows. That's a good one not to learn. Right. So anyway, I shall see you next week. Hopefully, one of the things I've ordered turned up, and we'll be able to look at some of that stuff, like the colour shifting paints. I'm quite looking forward to that. I want to do that on the Beetle, not the car, the Beetle. This my wife bought me this for Christmas last year, and I'm looking forward to trying it on that. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Anyway, we'll call that a day. Oh, I'll put that in. Get up. Right. I was too late. What was too late? I don't know. Lewis was late for something. I don't know. Lewis is always late. So just remains to say, don't forget there's a nasty virus around. Wash your hands and keep the change, you filthy animals. And I shall see you in the week on other people's shows and next week. Bye. How do I end broadcast again? It didn't end broadcast last week. It was very weird. Not last week, the week before. It struggled to end broadcast. Maybe if I press that button. That one.